Hello, happy Monday. I hope you are doing well. It is finally sunny here. It was foggy this morning, so it's nice to have some sun here and all of the things. I hope you had a wonderful weekend and are preparing for all the things coming our way. One of them being this week at school with our students. Another one being the election that is coming up. And there are umpteen things going on with the election. I'm sure you maybe are like me and you're feeling a little like, oh my gosh, can we just get there so that we can understand what's going on and move forward? But there's also a great opportunity to engage our students in conversations and a variety of conversations. And I know that there are lots of things happening. You're probably already engaging or in some form with your students about the upcoming election, this thing that happens every fall for us. And this one's a bigger one with the presidential election. And I wanted to share out a resource that I had recently come across that connects our data science and data literacy and working with data moves with election data, both from abroad, looking across many, many countries, and really cool attributes like percentage of the population that votes and how the government is structured and how voting is a part of that. And this is put out by the Tech Interactive. 1 second, I had this all pulled up and then of course it dropped. But I just want to kind of show out what this lesson plan is as a possibility of something to bring into your classroom if you are looking for something in the coming days or following the election that creates opportunities for your students to have different kinds of conversations about voting more broadly, such an important critical thing for those of us that live in a democracy, not being able to vote. And this is a lesson plan. They say it takes 90 minutes that the Tech Interactive has put together. They have put it together for high school students in mind. So just to be thinking about that. But it's got some great components baked into it, which is why I wanted to share it out as a resource in case you can use it in this week, next week, the coming weeks after the election, different things like that. It has students looking at data cards, thinking about what are our variables or our attributes that we have information on, and thinking about sorting them and making some initial explorations and investigations of the data. I'll show you that in just a second. It also has a data set from 2020 for the United States based on different states. So students can get in and look at graphs and maps, and then think about those as they're looking for patterns across different states in terms of percentage of registered voters and sort of across different states and percent that actually voted in November of 2020. And then there's those great conversation opportunities of why was 2020 different than other years? How might that influence the data we have and different pieces like that? So let me share with you 1 second. Let's share the analog, the card sorting, and giving students that tactile opportunity, right? Even our older students, our high school students, can benefit a lot from thinking about information as a stepping stone into data. So these card sorts are something we use a lot in our elementary classrooms, right? Where we're helping our students build out this initial understanding of categories and groupings and looking for sort of general patterns between different categories and using our card sort as a great move strategy that we can use with our younger learners. But what I love about this lesson from the Tech Interactive is that they have built out these cards for different countries all across the world. And on the cards are information about the most recent election year, with the caveat that these were made in February of 2022. And so, yes, absolutely, that might be a great opportunity to be oh, could we update it? Let's do some Google searching, right? You can take this in multiple different ways. But these cards have been developed and they give students information about the variable or the attribute of the most recent election year, the voting age population turnout. So what percentage of those, of those who voted compared to who could have voted in the country, Is it mandatory to vote? This is a really interesting thing for us to think about here in the United States, where it is not mandatory to vote, but it is actually in other countries. And then are there rules to make sure that people have to vote if it is in fact mandatory? And there's got some great ideas and suggestions on how to have students work with this information, think about sorting that information, processing it for what it means in terms of what we can gather about different voting patterns across countries across the world. And what I love is that this is open-ended. This is not often how students think about data, but it is critical data skills in terms of thinking about our variables, our attributes, thinking about how we're going to sort of group them, bin them, sort them before we jump in and look at the data in data visualization in digital form, as we are often doing once our students are up at the high school level. This is also critically important and really valuable for our students. And the Tech Interactive has a great set of data that they have uploaded into CodeApp for you to use with your students. And they have already pre-populated some of these graphs and maps that you can use with your students. So here we have, so the data card sort is by country. Here we're looking at information by all of our states and for the United States overall. We've got some summary tables here of our different case cards of the data sets that we are looking at. There's some instructions along the left-hand side. We also have, oh, my mouse is being a little funky. They also have pre-populated a choropleth map for us. And let me scroll down so we can actually see what that is, what the color is based off of. It is based off of the total percent who voted by state. So those who could have voted, who actually voted, so you can have some interesting conversations about our different states. They also have a visualization of the same information, but in a different representation. So here we're looking at it as a dot plot, where we're looking at our total percent voted for each region of the country. We've got each dot is represented by, each state is represented by a dot, excuse me. And then what's really cool is that we can come over here and then we can, play in CodeApp, where we could switch it up so that each state now is a bar. We could change it back to be points. We could see, actually, let's look at this by box plot for our region, so we can kind of see by region what is the sort of the variability of the percent that are voting by each region. How does that compare across our regions? So we can really dive in and do some deeper exploration of these data that are already uploaded here in CodeApp. And the lesson plan that I was just showing you earlier from the Tech Interactive has great steps to walk through, and it's embedded on the left-hand side of the CodeApp platform that they have created to have your students walk through and look at those data. So I wanted to share this. It's from a recent these US data are from November of 2020. Creates a great opportunity for your students to jump in and look at recent data here in the United States. The card sort is a great opportunity to situate ourselves with the rest of the world in terms of voting percentages and rules around voting, different things. So we can take this in a variety of different directions. I wanted to share it in case elections are a big topic of conversation in your classrooms, as this is a way that we can both practice and hone our data exploration skills, our thinking about sorting, grouping, looking for patterns, both in analog and in digital formats, with the data already here, already populated for you. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. I hope the rest of the week goes well for you. We are heads down working on some super exciting, awesome proposals here to bring more resources, strategies, and opportunities to you in the coming years. Fingers crossed, it all goes well. And we will be together next Wednesday at our next free monthly data strategy share out, where we'll be talking about creating and iterating data visualization. So our different kinds of visualizations that we work with, and how can we get our students sort of moving around, exploring, using those different data visualizations to their advantage as they're making sense of it. So I'll drop the link below. Come join us. We would love to chat with you next Wednesday, November 6th, and where we'll be talking about creating and iterating data visualizations and how we can help set our students up for success with that by embracing graph choice as a really important component of that. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Until then, stay curious, keep exploring. Talk to you soon.